It said it fell at, NIST report said it fell at free fall.
So then you make the
wait a
leap
minute. That means you got to defy the laws of physics. That means everything was removed in which for anything to fall at free fall speed.
But then you make that leap then to the idea that it was demolished by explosives inside by the government.
I don't make a leap. Why didn't they check for explosives? They never did, if not to eliminate them. They didn't do that.
Tower 7 disturbs me the most. I look at towers 1 and 2 and I go, well, they got hit by planes, you know, and look at the fire and everything. Maybe it broke. Maybe everyone's being crazy. But that Tower 7 just went whoosh, just like a controlled demolition. And everybody's like, yeah, but it had holes in the building. And you see the hole in the building? Yes, I see the hole in the building. But wouldn't it fall towards that hole? Why is it falling like that?
I do believe that it defies physics for the World Trade Center Tower 7, Building 7, which collapsed in on itself. It is impossible for a building to fall the way it fell without explosives being involved. World Trade Center 7. World Trader 1 and 2 got hit by planes. 7, miraculously, the first time in history, steel was melted by fire. It is physically impossible.
And who do you think is responsible for that?
I have no idea. But to say that we don't know that it imploded and it was an implosion and a demolition is beyond ignorant. Look at the films, get a physics expert here from Yale, from Harvard, pick the school. It defies reason.
Let's get one. Let's get one.
The way Tower 7 fell, it just kinked in the middle and fell down free fall speed. Almost. I mean, everybody, like, they'll nitpick at you. Oh, it was 1/10 of a second slower than free fall.
No. NIST has had to go back now and admitted, okay, there was free fall in the first 10 floors.
Well, even if it was just close to free fall, that's crazy. There was no resistance. It just gave up. Why wouldn't it, like, wiggle and collapse towards where it got jacked? It just seems like a controlled demolition.
Yeah, and then you've got Silverstein, the leaseholder, the owner of 7 as well as the rest of the complex, right? On tape, on the record, saying, we've had such a terrible loss of life that day, and I made the decision that they should go ahead and pull it.
And we gave the order and watched the building come down.
Yeah. The pull is that's his coming to the demo world as action and cut to the movie world.
Here is Larry Silverstein, the owner, who took out $7 billion of insurance on the 2 towers, and he's also now bought the Sears Tower and taken out a bunch of insurance. And Governor Pataki just called him the lowest of the low in the newspaper because he's holding out for $1 billion more now. Interesting fellow, made out quite well, and here is his statement from America Rebuilds.
I remember getting a call from the fire department commander telling me that they were not sure they were going to be able to contain the fire. And I said, you know, we've had such terrible loss of life. Maybe the smartest thing to do is pull it. And they made that decision to pull, and then we watched the building collapse.
Oh, we decided to pull it. Thank you, Larry Silverstein. Who's we? And when you decided to pull it, how soon afterwards was it down? So you must have pre-rigged it?
The owner said that, yeah, we all agreed to pull the building, and then they're trying to say that in demolition terms, pulling it doesn't mean exploding it now. You know, they always come back after the fact and say, well, no, what they meant was something else. When we meant pull the building, it meant we were going to evacuate it. Well, I've never, ever heard the term pull a building meaning to evacuate it out of people. That's a new term to me.
Blast, shoot, blow, and pull are terms used in the demolition industry to refer to bringing down buildings, bridges, and other structures.
Because I actually blew the hospital down that I was born in.
Originally, we had figured to shoot it, let it drop straight down.
Then, watch Demolition Dynamics attempt a big blast.
And from Ground Zero's own post-disaster wrecking crew.
By mid-December, the Department of Design and Construction had leveled World Trade Center buildings 4 and 5.
Hello? Oh, we're getting ready to pull building 6.
There was a lot of questions about it. My son Charlie introduced me to a lot of information.
questions and so forth. And up until then, which was just like last year, I was very dubious. Sure. But I did not want to believe that my government could possibly be involved in such a thing.
Absolutely, I don't think any of us want to.
I couldn't live in a country that I thought could do that. Exactly. That would be the ultimate betrayal. Sure. Then, however, there's been so many revelations that now I have my doubts. And chief among them is the Building 7. How did they rig that building so that it came down on the evening of the day?
Are you referring to the Larry Silverstein statement to pull it and the way that it all came down? Absolutely.
How convenient.
Yes.
When did they rig that building?
Let me just play devil's advocate for a second, right? Again, I don't claim to be an expert about structural integrity. I don't claim to be an expert about demolitions. Could they have rigged that building during the day when they decided that the fire was out of hand, even though it was only in a couple of floors?
No way. They could have blown the whole thing to bits with just a massive explosives down low, but they couldn't engage in precision demolitions. It would take weeks.
Okay, good. Good to know. That's what I think. But again, I'm just throwing stuff out that somebody might present as a viable argument.
Keep your eye on that building as they coming down.
Rescue workers pushed people away from the scene.
We are walking back. There's a building about to blow up.
You know, again, I've read about all that. Now you get a chance to hear it. You know, and again, clearly they knew the building was coming down ahead of time. And, you know, you look at the 9/11 Commission, they didn't even address Building 7. There isn't one word in their entire report.
Not one word in the 9/11 Commission report about the collapse of Building 7. As a matter of fact, during court proceedings dealing with the NYC Can petition, I believe the judge who is presiding over the matter, his name is Judge Lerner, when Building 7 was brought up in the courtroom, he said, "Building what?" He didn't even know what Building 7 was or how it related to 9/11. I'm not sure if he knew that it collapsed that day. Now, you know, any report or investigation that purports to be a full accounting of the events surrounding the day and on the day of 9/11 should clearly have addressed at least a couple paragraphs to the collapse of Building 7. But there was no mention of it whatsoever.
World Trade Center 7 collapsed neatly into its own footprint at practically free fall speed, and no plane hit it. And we're told that the reason that it came down was due to fire and that debris hit it. Now, when you watch the footage of it coming down, it comes down in the manner of a controlled demolition. There were 503 statements that were taken from first responders, emergency workers, police, fire department, stating that they heard multiple explosions going off in the buildings.
Yeah, here's one of the guys who can tell you I'm okay, all right? Here, hold on. You want to call your mother or something? You gotta get back. You know that. You gotta get back. All right? Don't worry about me. We need to make calls right now. Should have taken a couple of companies that they were leaving back to us that were stuck in the tunnel.
Many of them describing that they heard these detonation charges going off in rapid sequence down the building, also describing seeing these bright orange flashes spiralling down the building. And the 9/11 Commission at the time chose completely to ignore those 503 statements.
Well, at first we had thought, Brian, that we'd heard another explosion, but I think it's just another truck that's heading down to the south. But I just wanted to let you know that we're starting to see people moving north. In fact, you were just told by police that you should move out of your apartment, Fabiana. You've got Carolina here?
Yes. They advised us to leave because we have...
Oh, my God. Look behind us. Please pan in this way. Please be careful of your baby. This is it.
That's the building coming down.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. No. No. Listen. We'll be all right. We'll be all right.
We're okay. Ashley? I think we're okay. Ashley, I think we're okay.
All right, we're going to have to move this way. We're going to have to move. We're going to have to move. That cloud is coming this way.
Yeah. Ashley, get out of there. Leave the camera unmanned if you
need to and get out of there. What we've been fearing all afternoon has apparently happened. We were watching number 7 World Trade, which was part of the ancillary damage of the explosion and collapse of the other 2. We've been talking all day about how fast these plumes of smoke move. You're watching one on the move right now. That is building dust. Look at the wider shot on the left from across the river in New York. This was a 40-story building. They've been watching all day. This is like watching the collapse of an active volcano. And the dust from it is not unlike that from a volcano. We are on the phone with New York Fire Department Lieutenant David Restuccio. Lieutenant, where are you right now?
I'm at the corner of Northmore Street and Greenwich Street.
Can you confirm it was number 7 that just went in?
Yes, sir.
And you guys knew this was coming all day?
We had heard reports that the building was unstable and that it eventually would either come down on its own or it would be taken down. And that it eventually would either come down on its own or it would be taken down. Or it would be taken down.
World Trade Center 7 was brought down on September 11th at 5:20 in the evening. The leaseholder of the World Trade Center complex, Larry Silverstein, gave a public interview on PBS in 2002, and he said that they pulled that building, which is a demolition term for intentionally bringing down a building. This man made over $5 billion from those buildings' destruction, and I want to know if there was ever a formal investigation into Larry Silverstein, the leaseholder of the World Trade Center complex, and his ties to this entire event.
I don't believe there's been a formal investigation. I haven't heard that. I don't know that. I do know that that wall, I remember, was in danger, and I think that they made a decision based on the danger that it had of destroying other things, that they did it in a controlled fashion.
On the evening of March 6, 1975, more than 11 years after the assassination of JFK, the Zapruder film was aired on Goodnight America. For the first time ever, millions of Americans saw with their own eyes the brutal tragedy that had unfolded a decade earlier on a sunny afternoon in Dallas. The image of the president's body being thrust backward proved in a split second the fatal shot came from in front of the motorcade. In an instant, refuting a fairy tale that had prevailed for more than a decade. A few seconds of footage changed the way people thought about the event of their generation, and public outcry led to a new congressional investigation. It is now September 2010. 9 years have passed since the 9/11 attacks, and Building 7 has been hidden from public view because it is the Zapruder film of 9/11. A body being thrust backwards. A skyscraper coming down in freefall. Certain images speak for themselves because they speak in the language of common sense.
The thing that I can't get my mind off of is that if there's a problem with Building 7, there's a problem with the whole thing. If there's a problem with Building 7, there's a problem with the whole thing.
I think that there, at least the Bush administration knew that there was going to be some kind of attack on America, because due to the presidential daily briefing that apparently everyone read but didn't react to. And I think they perhaps chose to look the other way or stand down to gain entry, to get attacked and basically green light their agenda that we're enacting now. Because if you look at America's history, if you think about Pearl Harbor or Vietnam War, the Gulf of Tonkin, you see that we kind of sometimes egg our way into wars because war makes money. I think America exists on a war economy. The economy is the war, and I really believe that.
Having been a frogman and a Navy SEAL, I know what it's like to be in a position where failure is not an option. And in the case of our air national defense, failure is not an option. And on 9/11, they thoroughly failed. And here's my point. Why was nobody fired? Why did no one lose their job over the catastrophic failure of 9/11 if it's indeed what they told us it was?
what struck me immediately, my father was director of air commerce under Franklin Roosevelt. My father, who was been one of the original Army Air Force flyers in World War I, he had put in a lot of sort of safety things. In the event of a hijacking of a passenger liner or any plane that they knew about, that fighter planes would be scrambled, that is, sent up into air immediately within minutes in order to force the plane down, to change course, shoot it down if you had to. And you don't need orders from the president, the vice president, or anybody else.